Junti Bodhisattva begins to be truly enlightened. Not daily chanting. It's about three things. In the history of Buddhism, Junti Bodhisattva is a compassionate savior. But people are always asking, why do some people chant sutras and recite Buddha for decades? But there is no sign of enlightenment. Some people can do it in just a few months. Enlightenment comes true enlightenment. It is not directly related to the daily chanting of sutras and Buddha. Junti once said that the person who is enlightened, there must be three special states. It was an autumn evening. The sky is drizzling. Qualified mention of cigarettes curling in the venue. Junti Bodhisattva sits on the lotus platform, face strap, looking mercifully at the many seekers gathered in front of you. Among these people are beginners who have just entered Buddhism. There are also old grooming that has been dedicated to practicing for many years. An old mannequin in a gray robe. Get up slowly. Salute respectfully to Junti Bodhisattva. Dear Junti, the disciple has been practicing for more than 30 years. Daily chanting and chanting Buddha without interruption. But I still feel far away from my realm. I don't know if the practice method is wrong. Junti Bodhisattva smiled slightly. One has been proposed, a question that many practitioners are confused about. I remember 500 years ago, in southern India, there was a practitioner called the Good People. He was just like you. Insist on chanting sutras and Buddha every day. It was an ordinary morning. Good people as usual. Chanting in the temple hall. Suddenly, an old monk with a dry face walked into the capital hall. Look at him silently. Good people stopped chanting. Respectfully asked, what advice does the Venerable have? The old monk said that I see you chanting very hard. I don't know how many years I have been practicing. Report to the Venerable. 20 years. Good people overthrow Kaseng enlightenment. Ashamed, though daily chanting. But I always feel that it is still far from enlightenment. Listen to the old monk. Show a deep smile. Did you know that during the 20 years you have been chanting? Anan, a shepherd boy from the next village, it's already getting the taste of arhat fruit. Shamming was taken aback. How is this possible? Anan is only 16 years old. He just grazes cattle. Never enter the temple to recite sutras and recite Buddha. The old monk shook his head gently. Practice no longer acts. True enlightened. You can often become a Buddha in ordinary daily use. Although Ernan is young, but he achieved true spiritual practice. At this time, a young layman stood up from the crowd. Please allow the Bodhisattva to begin. Since it is not in the situation, so where is the real practice? Junti Bodhisattva looked at the group in front of him. Practitioners who long for truth. Tell me. Let me tell you a story that happened in India. Once upon a time, there was a practitioner called Still. He expo group. proficient in Sanzang. Countless people have praised him as a contemporary monk. One day, I came to a remote mountain temple. I met an old monk who was sweeping the floor. The old monk asked him, "I heard that you are proficient in esoteric possession." "I know a thing or two." The old monk asked again, "Do you know where you are?" "Don't open your mouth to answer." But suddenly the rain stopped. He found himself able to memorize countless scriptures. But faced with this simple question, but can't find the answer. The practitioners present were fascinated by this story. Junti went on to say, Static later understood a truth. Classics are just paper of the moon. The true spiritual practice is to see the moon itself. Someone present asked puzzled, "How can we actually practice it?" Junti said, "I remember the venerable family once encountered an interesting situation. And one day, a young man came to him, His Holiness. I have read all the classics. But why can't it be enlightened?" Venerable Giano did not answer directly, but took the young man to a creek. The stream is crystal clear. The sun shines on the water, sparkling. Family business says, "You see, this stream flows day and night. It never stops. But did you notice? The current is fast in some places, and in some places, nothing happened." The young man nodded, "Yes. I see it." Family business continues to say that the same is true of practice. Someone has read the classics, but not Lin. Like a rushing current, lively surface, it's hard to mirror reality. Some people don't know a word, but you can see your true heart in peace. Like those calm waters, can clearly reflect the sky. Junti said here, the silence of the temple. Everyone is thinking about this profound truth. Then an old practitioner asked, "Do we not have to chant anymore?" Junti Bodhisattva smiled and said that the sutra should be recited. But don't cling to the form of chanting sutras. It is Zun who said in the Diamond Sutra that if Israel sees me, ask me for life, it's evil. Can't see the Tathagata? This sentence means to say, if you are obsessed with extroversion, instead, it prevents us from seeing our true nature. Then a young monk asked, what kind of person is truly enlightened? Which brings us to the key to liberation. Junti Bodhisattva's eyes are like lightning, glancing at every disciple present. Some people practice like sailing against the current, blocked everywhere. Some people are like sailing with the wind. Natural access. The difference is not in the way of practice, and whether there is a foundation for enlightenment. Junti Bodhisattva gently put down the respectful comment in his hand. How many practitioners are there? But few are truly enlightened. Some people recite sutras and worship Buddha every day, still with the Tao. Some people are browsing scriptures. It's just growth. Buddha said here, mercy shines in the eyes. I will tell you today, the truly enlightened person. These three states must be revealed. These three realms. It is the true sign of the purity of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Fragrant mist in the store. The voice of Junti Bodhisattva is clear. The spring flows through the obstruction of the crowd. These three realms. The first is that the heart is not stained with dust. The second is to be unhindered. And the third is transparency. Listen to me in detail. You know that there is a Hanshin temple outside Chang'an City. Appointed between the fingers of Junti Bodhisattva. The outline of the ancient temple appeared in the sky. There is a 1,000-year-old well in the temple. The well water is crystal clear. No matter the cold or heat, it never dries up. 1 year, the water source within 100 miles of the Han Dynasty dried up. Only this well is still full. People are scrambling to get water. Mud and sand. But the water is still as clear as ever. A red bhikshuni was thinking. The Bodhisattva said that the mind of a practitioner should be like this ancient well. It's Junti, raise your hand. The ancient well turned into a pearl hanging in the air. If the mind of a cultivator can be like an ancient well, even if all the outer diameters are divided into towers, can still remain pure. Like the 5 generations of Zen master Huining, selling firewood in the market for a living. When I heard the Diamond Sutra, I suddenly became enlightened. He was not wearing a kasaya at that time, unrecited classics, but he became famous for his heart. Only see nature. And there was a strong wind outside, rolling leaves to the curtains. Junti reaches out and catches a dead leaf that floats in. Leaf veins are clearly visible in the palm of your hand. Looking at the fallen leaves. If the heart moves with the wind, the dust is flying like the heart is still water. Fallen leaves will settle by themselves. Patriarch Bodhidharma faced the wall for 9 years. Not to escape the chaos, but to cultivate this unstained heart. An old practitioner suddenly choked up. Disciple has been trapped by delusions all these years. When chanting sutras, think of Chami. Thinking of children and grandchildren when worshipping Buddha. It turns out that the heart is not famous. Let's take a look at the bright moon in the sky. Junti raises his hand across the night sky. A bright moon suddenly illuminated the hall. When the clouds cover, the bright moon is still there when the clouds disperse. Lifelong mind is self-sufficient, just obscured by delusion. Like this fallen leaf, if you insist on sweeping it away, instead, it will disrupt the breath and let it fall. Self-sustaining. Everyone in the store looked at the bright moon in the sky. Suddenly a young prisoner asked, "If you encounter something extremely difficult, how can I keep this clean heart?" Junti smile. Finger flick. Picture emerges from the sky. An old monk sat and chanted in the midst of the war. The shell exploded outside the division tent. He remained unmoved. This is not insensitivity. It's knowing that everything is false. Just like when the Buddha came out to practice Phelan in Louis Hospital. Faced with the various provocations of Jabo Dato. Always like the breeze. Let's talk about this second state. Junti Bodhisattva waves the bright moon into a flowing cloud. The will of practitioners should be like flowing clouds and flowing water. Do not place objects, I don't know. Just like Elder Zion on Jiangnan Mountain. 80 years old. Still Sanbu Eco. On the way to Mount Wuti. Instead, he will take a wave with him and give it all. An old monk in a burnay got up excitedly. The disciple once heard of Elder Zion's cone. I was puzzled. Today I know that this is the real thing. That's right, Junti Bodhisattva raises his hand. The figure of Elder Zion kowtowing in the air. It's not that he doesn't cherish a wave. It is knowing that there is emptiness in all things. Just like when the Buddha gave up his throne and became a monk. It's not that I hate its wealth, but to see through the true meaning of impermanence. Tungking Kingming suddenly came from the store. It turned out that it was for the small sand fan who accidentally encountered the incense case. The crowd was about to exclaim, but I saw that the sand fans were not in a hurry to help Tungking. Keep listening quietly. Junti Bodhisattva nodded in approval. That's the beauty of being unobstructed. Don't panic by accident. Don't be moved by gains and losses. Because the women's room suddenly burst into tears. Disciples have been practicing at home these years. It always pains for the husband not to understand and the woman not to be filial. It turns out that the obsession is too deep. Let's take a look at the pretrial pine and cypress. Junti Bodhisattva flicks his sleeves. The pines and cypresses stretch out in the void at night. He doesn't resist when the wind comes. When the shower lags, he doesn't. Evasion just grows naturally with the weather. As Zen Master Zhaozhu said, "Et seems normal. In fact, it is dark and cold in the unchanging intelligence of fate." At this moment, a layman who looked like a merchant got up. Bodhisattva disciples are not well run. We face many calculations every day. How can I be unhindered? Junti Bodhisattva raises his hand. The sky offers pictures of damage floating and sinking. Look at the ebb and flow of the tide. People only know how to close the net and release the net in accordance with the season. Don't be obsessed with how much you get each time. As Fan Zhongyan said, don't like things. Don't feel sorry for yourself. The real practice is not in the ancient temple in the mountains. In this free heart cultivated in the rolling red dust. The people in the store watch the merchant ships rise and fall in the void. Suddenly, an old practitioner clapped his hands and exclaimed, "No wonder the sixth patriarch said that Buddhism is in the world, inseparable from the world. It turns out that the escape path we have been searching for, just in the daily dressing and eating. This third realm is the most comfortable." Junti Bodhisattva takes the seal with both hands. Offer the vast galaxy in the void. Those who have attained the Tao should be wise. Wisdom without love is like the sun and the moon. No difference. Just like when Manjushri Bodhisattva became an old man. Torture for Capricorn room. What is the only way? Moji was silent. Manjushri Bodhisattva, on the other hand, praised this as the only way to do it. A layman who looks like a young scholar. Disciples speak roughly. Duen Lun for many years. I still feel that wisdom is like learning to scratch the itch. I don't know how to achieve this state. Take a look at this lamp. Janti Bodhisattva raises his hand. Hundreds of oil lamps in the store turn on at the same time. The lamp is illuminated by natural light when abundant. If you cling to the shape and color of the flame, instead, it will block the light. Just as Nagarjuna Bodhisattva said in the middle lecture, neither born nor die, neither long nor short. True wisdom lies not in words. At this time, a Manjun monk suddenly spoke. Disciple is blind, but the stars are shining brightly. Is this okay? The voice of Zenya Janti Bodhisattva is full of joy. Although you have no color, but the heart has been summoned. Just like when Venerable Anan asked the Buddha cloud in Jiangxin, the Buddha showed him the lotus flower in front of the temple. Onan said that he only saw the lotus flower but not the letter. The Buddha said to walk in the lotus flower. True wisdom is not found elsewhere. However, in internal affairs, suddenly the bell rang in the store. Janti Bodhisattva raises his hand. The bells turned into golden words and flowed in the air. And look at the 6 words Barapalamita. Makes a walker fingertip symbol. Make those who want to fall into separation. Only the truly enlightened. Only then do you know that every word is the true body of polo. An old student suddenly burst into tears. Disciple meditation for 30 years. Only today can we know the true meaning of words and paths. It turns out that what we search for all day, it's just a treasure. Exactly. Appointed between the fingers of Janti Bodhisattva, the golden text turned into lotus fish. Just like Master Hugh's broken arm. Patriarch Bodhidharma said that his heart will come from you. Huiki can't find his heart. The Patriarch said that in your peace of mind. True wisdom is not found elsewhere. And the natural manifestation after letting go of the attachment. These 3 realms seem distinct. In fact, it is integrated. Janti's voice suddenly became loud. The whole dojo is shaking. Heart-free entity. Line without hindrance, loss of use, pass through without hindrance, loss of sound. As the Heart Sutra says, all summons are empty. Body image book without 2 ambitions. In store, suddenly, the scene of Elder Zion's dying appeared. He sits on a futon. Seriously to the disciples. Really heavy words will pass away. Janti Bodhisattva sighed. Look really heavy. It is the determination of the heart that is not stained with dust. I'm free again. It is Yuan Rong who is unhindered. At this moment, a young monk suddenly realized. Shine light around. Disciple understands. Like a lotus that is born of mud and not stained. Practice should be in the world without knowing the world. gaining wisdom without clinging to wisdom. Good Zunti Bodhisattva nodded in relief. The sixth patriarch said that Buddhism is in the world, inseparable from the world. Exactly. Just like the Yellow River. Although the price is waiting for sediment, but it can nourish life on both sides of the strait. Although the mind of a practitioner is red, but it can save all beings. Clear birdsong suddenly came from outside the hall. Junti Bodhisattva raises his hand in the air. Offer the scene of 100 birds and a phoenix. And watch the birds have their own voices. Find your own way. Can live in harmony. True enlightened. It's not about becoming something, but to live out the original light. An old practitioner suddenly got up. Praised Zunti Bodhisattva deeply. Disciple has been practicing for 50 years. Only today can we know that ordinary mind is the true meaning of Tao. It turns out that the liberation we have been striving for, in the daily firewood, rice, oil and salt. Exactly. Junti's voice gradually softened. Like that teacup. Soluble when empty, overflowing when full. The mind of a practitioner should be like emptiness. It can hold 3,000 worlds. Not according to any law. Venerable Jai smiled at the flowers back then. It is this unwritten word that is passed on. The method called Weifen. Finally, I would like to offer you a sacrifice. The voice of Junti Bodhisattva is like spring breeze and rain. Leave golden words in the air. The heart is like a mirror that is not stained with dust. Come and go. To be concentric. The true face is the Tathagata. As the monsoon rains fall, the hall suddenly lit up. The disciples received their own light. Merge with the light of Junti Bodhisattva. Someone saw a previous marriage. Someone realizes the mission of this life. More people are currently going abroad with Zheng, the old man who asked the original question. I'm in tears right now. His 30 years of practice were confused. Disappeared in today's puja. He gazed at the solemn incense of Junti Bodhisattva. Suddenly understand, the real practice is not in the number of scriptures. No more Zen left time. And whether it can be summoned in daily life. Junti Bodhisattva, last start. Ladies and gentlemen, enlightenment is not the end. It is the starting point of the practice. Like the mountaineer. Seeing the top of the mountain is not the same as reaching it. We have to move on. May you take what you have today as a boat, crossing the sea of life and death. The Supreme Bodhi said to transform the Bodhisattva into a colorful radiance. Integrate into the top door of each practitioner. Everyone feels at ease. The bottleneck of years of practice suddenly became apparent. The drizzle outside the hall has stopped. A bright moon hangs high all day. Shine on the earth like a glazed world. Since then, Junti Bodhisattva has been passed down in this ashram. The first 3 realms. Countless practitioners practice this. Everybody gets something. As based on the saying that Bodhi has no tree. Spiegel is also not a platform. originally nothing, where to make dust. True enlightenment is not extroversion. And in that bright mirror, free and loveless sincerity, Dragon Rat Bodhisattva, a true person with wisdom roots. Not Japanese chanting. Instead, it presents 5 realms. Many practitioners recite sutras every day to send Buddhas. But I always feel that wisdom is difficult to produce. Practice endless. Why is it so hard to see results? Dragon Rat Bodhisattva once said, "Real wisdom does not lie in superficial efforts. It's about inner governance." This Dakeng, who is revered as the Lord of the Thousand Ministries, the founders of Buddhism, pointed out that, according to Huygen, people are not Japanese chanting sutras, but there are 5 natural states in life. What are these 5 realms? Why does the Dragon Rat Bodhisattva think they are more mindful than daily? The economy is more important. What kind of spiritual wisdom is contained in this? Let's walk into the Dragon Mouse together. Bodhisattva's Hall of Wisdom. One day at Naranto Temple, a monk named Tengo come and ask Uncle Long Bodhisattva, "Your Holiness, I recite sutras every day." Exhaustive disdain. Why do you always feel that wisdom is difficult to grow? Nagarjuna looked at this diligent disciple Tianhu. Do you think the practitioners who really regret their roots? What is it like? Tianhu shaking his head, disciple is stupid. I don't know what it looks like. If one person recites the words of the Dragon Bodhisattva every day, although the other person does not chant the scriptures, but the light of wisdom is always in the heart. Who is the true wise person? The disciples fell into deep thought. Tianhu replied that it is reasonable to say that the former is diligent. But since the Venerable One asked this question, I'm afraid the answer is not so simple. Dragon Rat Bodhisattva is good, a man of true wisdom. It's not about extroverted killing. It's about government within. An elderly monk asked, "So what is the true performance of Huygen?" Dragon Rat Bodhisattva replied immediately, "A person with true wisdom will naturally present 5 realms in life. The first state is called humility and weakness. Once upon a time, there was a practitioner named Shanhui. Although familiar with the 12 classics of Sanzan, but still asked the wise people from all over the world every day for advice. Someone asked him that you are already a great virtue. Why are you still open-minded like a beginner? Good regret answers the reason why the sea can accommodate hundreds of rivers. It is precisely because he is the lowest. Although I have learned something. But compared to the Buddha's perfect wisdom, like a drop in the ocean. Dragon Rat Bodhisattva names those who really have wisdom roots. You don't get complacent with a little something, but always maintain a humble learning attitude. This is the first state of humility. The second state is called caring for freedom. Once upon a time, there was a monk named Yasuku. He can meditate peacefully in the hustle and bustle of the world. I asked him how to keep his heart from following the mirror. He said, it's not that I'm blind to the noise of the outside world. They see the sounds as flowing water. Take care of their anger and disappear. When you can make it clear, be aware of your every thought, not controlled by them. Nature can live in the moment. Nagarjuna explained that according to the people of Huygen, be able to take care of your heart at all times. The birth and death of that thought is impermanent, not trapped in delusion. Keep your heart clear and at ease. This is the second state, which is caring for freedom. The third realm is called Kili Wrong. His Holiness the False, while alive, someone asked him if the duration of the world is still impermanent. His Holiness said neither duration nor impermanence. But tell the questioner, the reason why you have this question, it's because of clinging to the timing of the world. If we can understand that the essence of the world is dependent emptiness, then the distinction between impermanence and impermanence does not exist. Nagarjuna explained. According to Huygens, people able to transcend binary opposing ways of thinking don't cling to any extreme opinions. Kili Yuan Wrong, Tongda Middle Road. This is the third realm, Kili Yuan Wrong. The fourth state is called wonderful use. Master Helpless is well versed in Buddhism. It can also transform sentient beings according to the stress of fate. Once he met someone, practitioners who are obsessed with the details of the commandments, troubled by excessive detention, helpless to tell him that Sister Kai is important. But if you cling to the world and forget Sister Kai's original intention, instead, it will hinder the practice. Commandments are like the way to cross a river. When you reach the other side, you should give up, instead of walking with a boat on your back. When the practitioner heard this, he was suddenly enlightened. Dragon Rat Bodhisattva said, according to Huygen, people not only master perseverance, more flexible use. Immediate teaching works wonders. This is the fourth state of wonders. Tianto asked the Venerable eagerly, you said that the real people who are based on Huygen, there will be 5 realms. But you only mentioned 4 kinds. What is the 5th one? This is probably the most important one. Other disciples also requested, yes, Your Holiness. Please start the 5th realm for us. Dragon Rat Bodhisattva's profound gaze swept across the crowd. The tone becomes very solemn. The 5th realm. It is the most crucial point on the path of practice. He is also a true regretter. The inevitable highest performance, once this realm is righteous, can truly appreciate. The Buddha said that all living beings have the profound meaning of the Buddhist mind. Tianhu and the disciples Binxi concentrated, waiting for the Dragon Rat Bodhisattva to take root this last. It is also the most important wisdom root. The 5th state is called the unhindered state. Nagarjuna in the eyes of the disciples. Open slowly. The voice is low and powerful. The 5th realm is the core of all realms. With the deepest wisdom, practitioners of true gathering roots reached a state of helplessness. This realm, It is a state that transcends all external dependence, and the state of inner attachment. Able to navigate a complex world. Still keep the inner peace and freedom. Achieved complete liberation of body and mind. He continued, if a practitioner is in any situation, can be unmoved by the outside world, not trapped by any thought, keep your mind still. This is unhindered. Like the sea. Although the sea is turbulent, choppy waves, but the water in the deep sea is still crystal clear, quiet as ever. No matter what happens outside, the mind can always remain unaffected. This is the highest state of practice. No obstacles. It's not just indifference to the outside world. It's more about having a thorough grasp of the inner world. The heart is not bound by the world, neither clinging to past experiences. We are not swayed by future worries. Such wisdom. Let practitioners learn from the depths of their hearts. Resist all troubles and troubles. Remain close to the people and at ease for a long time. Next dragon. Rat Bodhisattva explained in detail to the disciples the meaning of each realm. Help them better understand. The realm of open-minded Ruogu. To admit one's own inadequacy and ignorance from the heart. Always maintain an empty and humble heart, without any pride or complacency. Even though some progress has been made in the practice, I will also be more humble to learn and progress. As the Buddha said, he who knows knows knows. Humble Satoshi. The embodiment of this realm. It's not just academic advice. It is also about getting along harmoniously with others in daily life. Respect the opinions and opinions of others. Accumulation of wisdom. It often comes from listening to others. And they go through life reflecting on learning. Take care of the realm of freedom. It requires the practitioner to be able to mind like a mirror. Be aware of the rise and fall of every thought. He doesn't ask practitioners to suppress their thoughts. Rather, it requires the practitioner to be able to clearly become aware of these thoughts and not be moved by them. No matter what the environment, practitioners can be like still water. Keep inner peace. It's about allowing the distractions of the outside world not to affect the peace of mind. Caring for freedom is practice, an indispensable part. It allows practitioners to practice at any time, can control their thoughts at any time, unaffected by the external environment. No matter in the hustle and bustle, or a lonely and quiet place, the mind of a practitioner can be like a mirror. Kingming flawless. The realm of Qi Li Yuan wrong. It's thinking that transcends binary opposites. Not being comfortable with biases and bigoted opinions. Practitioners should be able to deeply understand the essence of Buddhism, access to the essence of things. And everything is opposed to prejudice. See the unity and harmony behind Vienqin. Abandoned Yuan wrong. It is a kind of wisdom that transcends worldly ideas. He asked the practitioners, step out of the inherent binary thinking. see the fundamental nature of things. By perceiving the origins of affairs in the air, practitioners can no longer cling to right and wrong, is the opposite of very and impermanence, and then to the middle way. It transcends confrontation, the realm of unhindered use. Then ask the practitioner, the ability to apply the wisdom learned flexibly. Random stress, save sentient beings. The wisdom of Buddhism, not just for self-cultivation. His true significance lies in being able to help others. Practitioners should learn to respond flexibly. Different situations and issues. The diverse needs of all living beings. Show your wisdom and compassion in front of you. Inhumane to the sea of misery, guide to liberation. Wonderful use. Ask the practitioner. In the application of flexibility and intelligence, be unobstructed. Can adapt to different situations at any time. And use the wisdom of Buddhism to solve the doubts of others. Help others out. These realms. It is the high requirement of Nagarjuna Bodhisattva for practitioners. It reflects his profound understanding and teachings of Buddhism. And the ultimate goal of these 5 realms. It is to guide practitioners to constantly break through themselves. Transcend external forms and constraints. Achieve inner liberation and freedom. The core of these realms. It is about incorporating Buddhist wisdom into daily life. Let practice cease to be an abstract concept, but through every moment, the true experience of every moment. Chant every day. Practical practice is important, but the most important thing is still through inner awareness. With real evidence, live out the true meaning of Buddhism. Heigen. It cannot be obtained through superficial practice. He is a kind of wisdom that comes from within. Gradually enlightened through self-reflection and vipassana. A person with true wisdom, able to roam freely in the 5 realms. The state of mind is like everything between heaven and earth, broad and deep. Tranquility and ease. When we learn from the dragon, when these realms are realized in the teachings of the rat Bodhisattva, it should not be just theoretical. It should be. Internalize the standards and direction of your practice. As the dragon rat Bodhisattva said, true wisdom. It's not just about formal refinement. It is the awakening and sublimation deep within. On the road to spiritual practice, everyone's realm is constantly changing. And we should use the 5 realms as the scale. Always check your state of mind. Only in this way can we truly achieve the awakening of wisdom. Beyond the shackles of reincarnation, towards the other side of nirvana.